Okay, everybody. Today I want to talk about the comic that is being distributed in, or has been distributed in primary schools and secondary schools, and actually in some workplaces. And I did an extensive series on that comic and about how it was propaganda and high level brainwashing. Well, somebody wrote to the Minister of Education, Erica Stanford, and complained about that comic. And here are the emails from the person who complained. He said to me, "Dear Julian, I have loved your careful and factual analysis of this comic and have read your comments and have not been able to find any part which I disagree. I wrote to Erica Stanford some time ago and have just received a reply, just appalling in my opinion. I guess it's what you expected. Best regards, Roger from Taupo." And he wrote this letter to Erica Stanford. "Dear Miss Stanford, as an ex-teacher of some 37 years, both primary and secondary, I was absolutely appalled to learn the contents of the Level 4 Bulletin for Schools on the Treaty of Waitangi. Written by Ross Kalman, Mark Derby and Toby Morris, it is at best grossly misleading and at worst little more than a tissue of lies. In my 82 years, I have read widely on New Zealand history, but this bulletin is just so bad and so much radical propaganda that the very thought that it is being given to children fills me with alarm and despondency. How can we have any future as our country when such material is being promoted by the Department of Education? Please take steps to recall and destroy this appalling destructive material. Yours sincerely, Roger from Taupo." Now I'm going to show you the reply from Erica Sanford. This is what it said, 18th of April. "Tēnā koe, Roger. Okay, a bad start. For a start off, she's using Maori language to a guy who's European, and I know who's pushing the Maori language inside Parliament. It's Chris Luxon. Anyway, that aside, let's just keep moving through this letter. "Thank you for your email of the 1st of March 2024, sharing your concerns about the school journal story library text on Te Tiriti o Waitangi. I'm sorry that it has taken me a while to respond to this. Since reading your email, I have asked the Ministry of Education for more information about the school journal. There is a big problem because what she's doing is she's asking bureaucrats for information or their opinion about this journal. And of course, Wellington is crawling with woke, white, liberal, pro-Maorification, pro-co-governance bureaucrats. They are a real problem. Basically, what Erica Stanford is doing is going to a polluted source to get information about a polluted source. So we have a real problem here. Erica Stanford has not read her own history. She has not studied history. And so she has no way of knowing what is fake history and what is real history. So let's just keep reading this email from her. "I am told that it was published to support schools to teach Te Tiriti o Waitangi at level 4 of the social sciences learning area, which typically relates to year 8 students. The first edition of the text was developed with input from well-known historians and academics, including Dame Claudia Orange. We don't know who these academics and historians were, but we do know that Claudia Orange is an activist. And we do know that the comic is absolutely a tissue of lies. So this cannot be true. If Dame Claudia Orange has inputted into it, then she is completely off in her understanding and knowledge of the Treaty of Waitangi. Let's keep reading. And a second edition was published in 2020 following feedback from Network Waitangi o Te Tahi, which is a activist network, and members of the public. Now, we don't know who the members of the public were. It could have been half a dozen Maori activists. The ministry considers that the current publication is an accurate narrative about Te Tiriti o Waitangi. So that tells us, that statement there tells us that Erica Stanford does not know New Zealand history. Because if she did know New Zealand history accurately, she would immediately withdraw that comic from all publication and all distribution. But she doesn't. And she has no way of knowing error if she does not know the truth. She's relying on bureaucrats to give her advice. Then she goes on, I want to ensure that the histories taught to our children and young people are balanced, historically accurate, and reflective of the many rich and interesting stories of our country. Erica, I couldn't agree more with you, but you must tell the truth in your balanced, historical, accurate, and reflective issuance of history. I believe it is incredibly important that children and young people continue to learn about all of our histories as part of our national curriculum. Yes, couldn't agree more, Erica. I'm expecting the ministry to provide me with information and advice. There it is again. I'm expecting the ministry. Well, in the Ministry of Education, high up in the Ministry of Education, is Chris Hipkins' mother. I'm not sure how high she is, but she was there, and she is there in the Ministry of Education. Well, imagine that. I'm expecting the ministry to provide me with information and advice about reviewing the Aotearoa New Zealand's history curriculum. What is a Minister of the Crown doing using Aotearoa? It's not even been mandated by the people of New Zealand to use that word, the name of our country, which I will carefully consider before making any decisions. So if she's getting her information from the ministry, she has no hope of making a good decision. Because the ministry is a polluted pool. It is my intention that new teaching and learning resources like school text journals will align with and reflect the curriculum content once it has been reviewed and revised. Yeah. Thank you for getting in touch and hope this information is helpful. I wish you all the best. Naku noa nā, whatever that means. So we have a huge problem with Erica Stanford because she does not know New Zealand history and she's relying on activists for information. What hope do we have? This is why I am doing my tour of New Zealand, my Treaty Truth Tour of New Zealand this year, to get the truth about the treaty out and to get the public aware of the kind of people we have inside government.